Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Jae Grind from the BX on the Jae Grind podcast. Listen, I have a dope, this man is a class act. Dope director, dope writer. He definitely, he's gonna do all the talking, but I don't. He gonna do his own introduction. Shout out to director Dave Givens. So, what's going on, y'all? So, Dave Givens, give everybody information, let them know who you are. Let the audience know what you're about.
All right. Yeah, what's up? How y'all doing? My name is David Givens. Um, yeah, I mean, first off, I want to thank you for having me. I appreciate that for thinking about me to help just make more awareness for your page and for what I'm doing as well. But yeah, I met you. I was a director, still am a director. I write. Right now, I build a career in editing, film editing, and I built a career in stage managing and theater. So I guess it's pretty much I'm really heavy in like the arts kind of field. So yeah, that's it for me.
What So, David, what got you started into acting, theater, stage? Like, tell us your story. Um,
Yeah, so I got when I was my pops used to give me these movies. I'm talking about the '90s, like these VHS tapes, joints. Yo, it was crazy. He was giving me movies like Sleeping with the Enemy with Julia Roberts. He was giving movies like the was this movie called The Joy Luck Club. All these movies I was not supposed to be watching at my age, but I appreciated them, and so I kind of started getting this eye for like film. Wanting to do film, and I got the opportunity to be selected to go to graphic communication arts, and that's dope because I was raised in the Bronx. It's called River Park Towers. Crazy place. Right now,
yeah,
it's oh
crazy.
yeah, yo,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
I
It
won't
was
dare go
wild back
there
then.
now,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah, so I mean, it's worse now. That's what I'm hearing. So, raised there, and like you should know, like in the Bronx, they pretty much try to keep us all in that area. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have like the laundromat, Chinese food, the supermarket. Like, there's no reason for us to leave the Bronx. You know
The
what I'm saying?
basketball court right there.
Basketball court, yeah, school, Bronx Community College if you want to go to, Lehman
Hmm.
College, you got everything. Like, so when I
Yeah.
had the opportunity to get accepted and get to go down to Hell's Kitchen, I'm like, yo, let's do it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of my friends, they go into their zone schools. Like, it used to be called Steve, what's this? I feel like Steve, what's that? It's a high school on Fordham Road. Um, I feel like it's called
Roosevelt.
Steve Roosevelt. Yeah, Rose. Yeah. Everybody at River Park Towers went there. That was their zone school. So I was like, I ain't trying to go there. Like, I'm trying to go downtown, meet different people from different boroughs. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up running into other people from the Bronx, anyways. But they weren't black. I started hooking up with like more Latin people. But anyways, I was introduced to like video editing there. We were like editing on VHS tapes. It was sick, bro. Like, the process of editing on VHS tapes was just tedious. And from there, I was just like, yo, I want people to see my films, but how do I do that? So I was like, let's get a crowd of people. Let me write a play, right? Just random writing. I'm just doing mad writing for no reason. Wrote a play, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna sell these tapes at the play. Ended up focusing more on the play than anything. Like, we didn't sell nothing. We just did this play. The play was like 3 hours long for no reason. It was just a mess. You know what I mean? And from there, I just kind of was like, you know what? Let me start doing more theater. I like the audience. I like the live crowds. You know what I mean? I like the interaction and stuff. And I started building a career as stage managing. I got to stage manage for Alvin Ailey. I got to stage manage for a lot of off-Broadway productions and things like that. Um, and then that led me to Harlem. And like, I was always in Harlem. Like, my dad lived in Harlem, my mom lived in the Bronx. So like, on the weekends, I go chill with my dad, and then I'll stay with my mom and my sisters in the Bronx. But then I started my own theater group called the IAC UAC. And funny thing is, because the show that you went to, the rap show, the two dudes who was hosting, I met them when they was like in middle school at the time, And so, I used to run like the theater program there, teaching them acting, teaching them like we was playing ball and stuff. Like we had a whole bunch of like different activities at this theater space, because it was like a church slash gym, and now you see them now, like they still doing their thing, like they're doing, they're positive dudes. Even I mean, it's rap or whatever. Like rap is, people might look down on it, some people, but like as long as you staying creative and telling a story through your words, it's like, they doing their thing. So, but yeah, so from then, just kind of was like COVID hit. I was like, yo, no more theater. Let me start trying to do more film, and I went to YouTube University. You know how that is. And
Wow.
YouTube University, free admissions, man, for everybody. So started learning editing again, digital editing, learning how to do effects and stuff. Came out with a web series called Breakout. It was about the Matrix. Pretty dope series. And then that's it. Like I just started, and then I met you. I started back up with theater. And that's when we did the Harlem's a Living Color, my first show, back at it. And I thought that was a pretty good success. Like, it was a good turnout. Like, we had a really good time. I mean, you remember the hiccups, man, because I was like, yo, it's just me, you. At first, it was like we had a few people, but then I'm like, yo, it's just me and you, bro. Like, I felt so bad because I'm like, yo, you showing up, but nobody's like, then Shanae came through. Now it was just like us three, we strong. And here comes Ron. Here come, Khalif. Here come these people that just kind of fell into, it was kind of like, like our way of passage. I guess God was like, yo, y'all got to sit out here and wait for these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, y'all could do it. Y'all could sit out here in this cold for like 2 hours. You know what I mean? 0 degrees. All right, I got some actors for y'all, man. I got some actors. And the show was phenomenal. Like, I had a really great time. Like, I still laugh at that show till today. You know what I mean? And that's really it though. Now I'm just focusing on like a film production group called Real Roots, and we got some things coming out, and then I'm still doing a Living Color from time to time. So yeah.
What inspires you to give back to your community?
Really, it's just you kind of want to. You kind of think of it like what you wish that you would have had access to when you was growing up. I just like to see other people win. You know what I mean? Like if we could all collab some way, like I'm always down for that. I think that's like really it. Like if I can win, then you can win. And you already know like everybody's not about that. Like you could give somebody the opportunity, and they won't show up, or they won't do what they supposed to do. And miss out on that opportunity. So we can't help everybody, but even if we help one person, I think that's that should earn one ticket in heaven for like an hour.
Yeah. So, having all of this, giving back to the community, coming from the Bronx, do you feel like because you're from the Bronx, especially from the South Bronx, where it all started, do you feel like that had an influence on you as a teacher, as a director, and even being in the arts?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I said, it's like you think about, and I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. It's like hearing gunshots was like a normal thing in the Bronx, like and that's not good. When you look at other people, I thought that was a normal thing. We was playing, when I was younger, we were playing basketball, dudes were fighting on another court, they start shooting at each other, you know what I mean? And that was just a normal thing to us, And when I realized when I got older, I'm just like there's mad people out there, like they never had those outlets, you know what I'm saying? They don't have outlets where they could just leave the hood or leave their area. They just have to kind of like, they're products of where they live, you know what I mean? And I just want people to see the difference, like, yo, you don't have to only stay here in this borough. You don't only have to, limit yourself. You know what I'm saying? So again, yeah, it just falls upon that level of, I just wish that I had somebody that was that I want to be for somebody else. You know what I mean?
So as when you started these production companies, like, I know you said that you were, doing things to kind of give back. But like, what are you looking for in actors and creatives that you feel can resonate or relate to you to want to work with them or have them be future collabs?
Honestly, I just kind of look at them. We work together. We do the production, and kind of like I want them to better themselves. You know what I mean? Like I want to see like that they're not just um, here to perform and that's it for them. Like, I'm always looking for, if I'm not doing a production, I'm always looking for something else that they can do or something else that people could benefit from, their networking or something. Like I invited you to the rap joint. Like I thought that would be a dope networking thing. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a community right there. Same thing with like if I hear that there's any like openings or somebody's looking for a particular whatever actor or character, like I'm always like, yo, this person's cool for this, you know what I mean? Because I want everybody working. I want everybody like being consistent. I can't ever see when you're not being consistent. So like you always got something going. I feel like I'd be disturbing you. Like I was like, yo, let me hit him up and tell him there's a rap show. See if he might be free, he might not. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you know.
Like why you said something like very important, like why is consistency important?
Oh, I mean, consistency is important because then you start getting in your head. If you're not just like constantly doing something, if you're a writer, even if you wrote like a sentence, one day and then to write a sentence next day, like you're being consistent. And that's the thing is that a lot of people get discouraged easily. When you see people doing a lot of simple things like crappy rappers. Like, you're a dope rapper. And when you hear somebody crappy making it, you're like, what? Like, who's running this? You know what I'm saying? So that could be really, discouraging because it's like, who's out there running this and no one's looking out for me? So if you be consistent, I feel, and you're constantly making music, constantly networking, constantly doing things, you're in that vibe. You know what I mean? And I think that's really encouraging just to see what other people are doing, and then that way you can better yourself by being consistent. Same thing with work. Like you go to work and you got to be consistent with being on time. And then hopefully you get this upgrade or you get a raise or something. So it's always consistency. Always is a good thing.
What is just from your life in general, like what if someone came up to you, someone, it doesn't matter what age, they say, hey man, I want to get into this theater, I want to get into acting, I want to get into this, how do I start? What would you say?
Just in general, or are they trying to like work with me or something?
Work with you. Hey,
Yeah.
David, I want to work with you, I seen X, Y, and Z, like how do I get in, how do I start working with you?
I mean, yeah. So a few people have asked me that. Usually, it always depends. So, um, one person has a web series and they're trying to figure out how they could produce it, and I just told them, give them like information about ways that they could get their stuff produced because now they're worried about a budget and making all this money, and then that's where you get really discouraged because you're like, yo, like I don't have enough money, so I can't do my production, and I'm trying to tell them like all you need is a camera phone, you know what I'm saying? If you got a good script and you have access to like editing or something, you can make your whole film. Like I've seen films filmed on iPhones all the time, you know. But I would just like whatever I'm working on, I would just kind of, if I can't give them a position, kind of give them like tell them to come through, like yo, come through and watch this, or I might need help with somebody for like I'll make up something for them to do just to see if they actually like it, and if they do, then the next production we do, we'll work on something together. But it's really about giving them that information or just kind of plant a seed where they don't, you kind of see where their head is and just try to make sure that they don't discourage themselves.
Yeah. What is your, what does it mean to be a director, and like what is your director philosophy?
Yeah, being a director, it's it's pretty much just trying to like for me, I try to look at it from as if I'm the audience member. If I'm sitting there, I'm watching something, you know, I'm being like non-biased about the production. So, like when we do the Living Color stuff, even though like I wrote the sketches or whatever, I'm still looking at it as if like it's my first time seeing it. You know, like, oh, how would this person react to this? You know, I'm thinking about an old person watching it. Then I'm thinking about, you know, a single mom watching it. You know what I mean? Like, does this relate to everybody, or does it come close to relating to everybody? So that's how I kind of think about directing things, and just like, you know, being a director, just helping people fully understand what needs to be taught, and not being dismissive. Like, you know, like if somebody has an idea for something, I'm always down for, you know, hearing their opinion, because, you know, I don't know it all, and this person might come. Like when we worked together, you came up with a lot of good ideas. You know what I'm saying? I would never have thought of, and I was like, let's do it. You know what I mean? So I'm still like that. You know, I'm like, yo, you ready to do something? You think we should do it this way? Let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always ready to grow. I'm always ready to lead all the time. So,
What do you think is missing in the industry?
the film industry,
Yeah.
yo, bro, all people do now is pretty much make remakes. Like everything's a remake. You know, like honestly, like I feel like AI took over everything. It's kind of like what happened with McDonald's. Like, you remember when they was like they boycotted because they wanted to be paid more, all those workers,
Yeah, I
and so
remember
that
that.
that took a minute. That took a good little like some time. If you peep, when they finally gave them that money, mad people lost their jobs. And if you go to McDonald's now, it's because they got those kiosk systems where you don't even need people there. Only thing you need people there to do is pretty much to just cook. So all of those cash register people, they're gone. You know what I mean? But they did get their money. So I say that in regards to the film industry, where when they was protesting about making more money, remember the writers and the actors like, yo, and they was going heavy with it. And for some reason after that, movies just became really redundant. Like movies just don't like if you would tell me this movie, if you were to tell me that this movie was written by AI or something, I'd be like, okay, that makes more sense. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like. They're just leaving it to AI, and maybe they might have like a ghostwriter who read it over and kind of make it sound a little bit more sense. That's what I feel like. I feel like they're allowing AI. It's cheaper. It'll write a whole, like I could ask Chat GPT to write me a whole script right now, and it'll do it. It won't sound good fully. I got to go through it and read it line by line to make it sound real. But it'll write me a whole script. You know what I'm saying? So it's a scary time. Same thing with editing, like film editing. I could put all my clips into Premiere Pro, and it'll edit it for me. It won't have that heart though. It might not cut where I want it to cut. You know what I'm saying? It might not tell it right the proper story, but it will do most of the work. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, like AI is going nuts, and I just saw something about Timbaland say something about like rap, like they're starting to do AI music and stuff, which was
Wow,
crazy.
really?
Yeah, he looked
Wow.
real disappointed with it.
Wow, that's crazy.
Um, yeah, and you know Tim be dropping the beats all the time, so
Yeah.
yeah, it looked like it was serious. I didn't fully get to hear it, but he was stressing about it like crazy. You know.
So what are your like what are your I forgot the word, but like what are your turnoffs in film and theater? What are your do and don'ts and that when it comes to meeting other directors or other creatives or other artists?
I hate people that yell. Man, I can't stand people that need to like get loud or be nasty to other people. You know, I've seen that a lot, especially in theater. People just being nasty to each other. I think the chemistry that I've been trying to build for the past year or so, I always because I can't pay people that much, I try to make it like have like a fun environment. You know what I'm saying? Like no one knows how much they're gonna get paid until the outcome of the show or whatever. But we're having a good time because these people have to show up. You know what I mean? Every day you coming after work. You know, I don't know how much you went through that day or whatever, but when you come to rehearsal, like we're having a good time. Like I'm not trying to stress anything out or whatever. And so that's what I like. Like that's what I really like, for people to come and feel comfortable and feel comfortable kind of just like networking with each other. You know what I mean? And I think that's what I like the most with theater, film. These directors, I mean, my only beef is with Tyler Perry. He gets on my nerves with his stuff, and he's so proud. He's so proud of this. I wrote this script in 2 days, and we filmed this in 1 day, and here it is. But you can't knock the man. You know what I mean? Like, he built this industry. Like, he built his industry. He built his company, and like, I'm proud of that. Like, that's old. Like, the fact that you built a film company, film studio on like what was that, plantation or something, old slave plants. That's fire, son. Like, that's already like a win for us as African Americans. You know what I mean? Even though your content is, even though his content ain't really like, man, like every single black female struggles in all his films. You know what I mean? Like, that's what, it's annoying. I like this dude. What's his name? Ryan Coogler. All his movies, if you peep, black people look dope all the time. You seen that movie Sinners? There's a part where he's showing these different shots, and they're just showing regular like slave people just coming to help them do something, and they look like superheroes. The way he like showed them like like every single thing, like he makes you feel like a dope black person. You know what I mean? Again, Tyler Perry is just like, I just don't like the coonery stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's $1 at the end of the day, and if people want to keep paying you to do it, I guess why not? I might end up being like that one day too. Who knows? You know what I mean? If I could get paid $20 million to do something at my studio for free, you know what I mean, and pay these people pay $10 million for a production, I just made mad money right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's business, I guess. So, yeah.
So, you said something about the business aspect, like, coming from the Bronx and you wanting to, not you wanting to, but you are running your own production, you are running your own thing. Like, do you think you have to compromise at some point to grow, or you feel like you want to remain the same?
I feel like you're just gonna have to compromise. It's kind of like you just end up, I feel like you always end up having to cater to somebody, Unfortunately, a lot of groups out there, it seems like everybody just, unless you could really luck out and keep it real, I feel like you're just gonna end up having to do a little bit of banjo playing, you know what I mean? Shuck and jive a little bit, like pick a few bags of cotton for, you know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna end up happening. I hope not, but I feel like it is,
So what are some new projects you have going on right now? What's in the works? What's something that you want to tell the audience and the fans that you got going on?
Yeah, we like I said, I'm trying to take a break. I mean, we went heavy last year with the Harlem's Living Color. People wanted the production. People really wanted to see this, kind of make people love to laugh. You know what I mean? But I was like really stressing myself out trying to write these new sketches and stuff, finding like new venues and everything. So right now I'm just taking a break. We just did a show in February for Black History Month. I'm gonna just let it rock out. And now we're just now I'm focusing more on film. And that's what this production company, Real Roots, like the film Real and Roots. And yeah, right now we're just working on the group. There's about 6 of us. Everybody kind of has their own like films or whatever, so we're gonna like work on filming those films with 0 to really low budget kind of thing, but just to show people like, oh, this is what we're about, like this is what we're gonna start doing. And then hopefully we start getting some grants and things and kind of try to make it more official. And then I'll just add on to other people. Like, there's a lot of people I know in the Bronx still, like, they don't, I realize that they do a lot of productions in the Bronx only. They don't come downtown. They don't do things, So that's really it though. Like, I'm just working on these short films at this point, yeah.
what is your 5 year goal?
Man, 5 year goal. Honestly, I'm trying to get to Atlanta, man. Like Atlanta sounds like a mecca for real. I just hope it's not too late. Like, I'm trying to get down there. A lot of people I know are entrepreneurs down there, and they're like successful. One of my friends who moved down there said the biggest thing that people struggle with down there is networking. And I'm like, that's all we do in New York is network. Like, we're always like, when we're on the train, if somebody talk to us about something, we're networking right there, and it's easy for us. So I'm like, that's a piece of cake. Doing that, hopefully we're making films. My goal is to try to start doing like an interaction between Atlanta and different other states. You know what I mean? Kind of have like the same seed in different states. So then that way we're like just building something together. You know what I mean? Not just in New York, because I know like New Yorkers hate us, bro. Like, unfortunately, like we don't be really supporting each other like we should. You know what I mean? Because there's another film guy, probably look just like me, black dude from the Bronx, doing the same thing I'm doing. You know what I mean? So that's when you got to start to figure out like how unique can I be, and even if your film is good, people still won't share it. Because then they get jealous. So you got so many different like things. It's just like, you know, let me try to just keep doing what I got to do, and if it works, let me just stick to it. So, yeah, hopefully 5 years making like official films. I'm in Atlanta, and we all doing our thing. Like I'm hitting you up, like yo, I need a soundtrack song. You know what I'm saying? Like yo, this is you know what I'm saying. This is you know what I'm saying.
So
That's gonna be some Drake, man.
yeah, it's gonna be fire. So like you said, networking, and do you feel like that's missing in today's industry, in today's craftsmanship? What do you how do you feel about the passion and the network in theater and film, and just being a creative in general?
I mean, honestly, people. I feel like people network, but people have their own agendas. So I don't think like, I think the people that's networking now, they. I feel like this younger crowd don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't understand the importance of like networking and building together. You know what I mean? Like social media is definitely like divided us like like crazy. And that goes along the lines of us just like thinking about who am I promoting? Am I promoting only like film people, or am I only promoting theater people? Am I only promoting LGBTQ people? Am I only like my Latin crew, my black? Am I only what I'm saying? And that's when you kind of start to like you start to get diluted, and you start to dilute yourself because now your mind is split between all these different things. I think that's a tough thing about the world is like, they say things like, oh, well, this brown women, we have brown women in our family, and at our job now that we hired. When I hear brown women, I'm thinking black females, right? I'm thinking like, oh yeah, but no, that could be Indian, that could be anybody with dark skin, that could be Dominican. You know what I mean? Instead of just calling them Latin. So they've been playing around with a lot of words, and I feel like if we could all just like, if people could, when they network, if they have like their set agenda and that they want to know like, I'm here about making black people dope, and then we all know like hashtag black people dope, like we're all using that. Dude, look at Tulsa, bro. Like we had Tulsa, we had so many different places in history that we had other people, white people, we had them petrified. They still petrified of us. You know what I mean? And if we was to ever just like become like a whole, because they fear us, and they fear that they know what we're about. They know that that's why they always trying to keep us down. Like I thought that was a joke. Like I thought like, man, white people not trying to keep us down, man. Shut up with that. But that's a legit thing, like they really are, unfortunately, because they see the potential in what we have as a culture. Now, I'm not saying like everybody's bad, like like I have a lot of white friends. I think they dope, like they mad cool. Like some of them are Christian, some of them are creatives. You know what I mean? And I think if unfortunately we can't be in a world where right now, at least at this point, it's going to be tough for us to be a world where we're like a rainbow coalition kind of thing. Like I think it's going to be a tough. I think it's going to be a tough thing. Trump is like really making a lot of these people feel more bigots. And they're blindly following him, and we're missing out on a lot of opportunities. A lot of networking. So I think it's a problem with the networking nowadays. People don't really know why they're networking. I think it end up just becoming like a friendship kind of thing, and the talent goes out the window. You know what I mean?
Why is that? Why is
Well,
talent out the window?
I mean, talent goes out the window when when you're not really, you don't really understand your agenda. So like if you rather really think like, what is my main purpose? Like, why am I doing rap music? You know what I'm saying? How am I using rap music? Like, what's the history behind rap music? That becomes an agenda, because now you're like, well, I'm using this rap music based off of, the first person who started rap, but I'm using it for this way to tell this, because this is the story that I want to tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, it becomes an agenda that you have. I feel like a lot of people just do it because it's like social media fab. You know what I mean? Like, they doing a rap joint, like dancing, like people dance, and like it's just these like same old TikTok dancing. Like, you haven't seen people dance like they used to dance in the '90s or early 2000s. Like, you haven't even seen people dance since the '50s. Like, they used to have like a whole group of men sing like not Boyz II Men, like the Temptations or whatever. Like, they was be singing and be dancing throughout the whole stage. Like, they had straight up talent. And no one does that stuff anymore. Like that group that, you saw at that rap show. Like, that was fire. I haven't seen that in a minute. Like, a whole rap group of dudes. Like,
Yeah, you don't see that anymore.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? But that clearly they know their history. They know a little something about, at least that's what I think based off of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's good networking right there, because now you got different people from different places representing different parts of the city. That's dope. They have their agenda. We trying to bring different people together. So I think that a lot of people don't have agendas. But I think people just be doing things just because, just for that fab, and it goes out the window easy. The talent is just like, I don't need to know how to edit because TikTok's gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like, I did this joint. Like effect. I did a children's film, and the kid said, "Oh, how'd you do that on AI?" And I'm like, "I ain't do that on no AI. Like, I legit made that. Like, I made this kid disappear." He's like, "Oh, I could do that on this." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness! Like, this joint took me like a good hour or so to do." You know what I'm saying? You told me I could do that easy, and you know what I mean? Like, people just, they're handed things. Things are just so much easier. They don't have to grind anymore. And AI is just moving like quickly. I think at this point we're just gonna have to like work for AI. You know what I mean? And like help maintain it, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Mm. I wanted to ask you because you said something about talent. You said something about history that stood out. How important is it to know your history, just as a creative or in general?
Yeah, like you could really, if you don't know your history, you could be really blind to things, and then you're not made aware of a lot of things that has happened that's repeating itself now. Like a lot of people, like when you start to see like a pattern. So I didn't even peep that, like Michael Jackson, he died because he was trying to force himself to go on tours, right? Whitney Houston did the same thing. She was on tours and stuff, and she died too, doing the same kind of thing. And that was all from greed. You know what I mean? Like, they had talent, but those people had their own agenda, and it wasn't about the talent anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say talent really goes out the window when the agenda is not there. You know what I mean? And maybe she had her own agenda at first, and when she made it, now it just is all about money. And there's no more talent in that, once you see the money. But yeah, I mean, I think that's really it. I mean, you really need the history behind just where you come from, what you want to stand on. At least if you know that, then you could represent and represent where you come from and represent what it's all about and the struggle, because it wasn't easy. You know what I mean? It wasn't easy for my dad. It wasn't easy for his father. You know what I'm saying? It was way worse for his father's father. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have the right to sit there and not do something. You know what I mean? Like I have to be better for the next person. You know what I mean? And represent. I can't just walk around calling people N words and B's and stuff just for the heck of it. You know what I mean? If I'm trying to tell a story, okay, that's cool. I can use those words. But honestly, like I don't have the right to not represent my culture. You know what I mean? So history is really important.
Well, so a couple more questions and we're gonna wrap up because this is dope. You know, how would you, what legacy, what would you leave behind? You know, to the people that know you or aspire to be you or better. What would you leave? Like, what do you want to leave behind?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, right? I just had oh, whoa, you didn't even come to the game night, bro. I just thought about it. Oh, that's crazy. I just thought about it. Oh man, yo, you missed it, bro. It was fun. It was.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah.
It was a crazy night. But we like beforehand, we were all chilling us because like I have like a terrace or whatever, and so we was all like chilling, chatting it up, talking outside, and we was like, yo, somebody asked me the same question. I was like, yo, if I had like $10 million, like I heard that what George Clooney did was he gave his close friends or he gave people like $100,000 each or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't mind doing something. Like I'm not gonna go bankrupt or whatever, but I don't mind giving people a little something before I leave or whatever. Or if I have something I could give to other people and know that this is going to like a good investment or something. You know what I mean? Like I know that this person is hungry for it and that they'll really benefit from this money. Like I have no problem doing that. So I think with that kind of mindset, just always not just thinking about myself, I think just thinking about like other people as well, and how we can build together. I think that's a legacy in its own because we all made it together. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even know Pharrell, Timbaland, and Missy. They all grew up in the same school, and like they all knew each other. Like that's fire. Like yo, all three of them are fire. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even realize Neptunes is like my man Pharrell's still making beats. Like he just did the beat for what's that song? It's Timeless, with The Weeknd. With The Weeknd, and that beat is fire. So I'm just like, yo, my man's still working. You know what I mean? Like they still utilize each other. They still hit each other up. So things like that, where it's like you're making history with each other. So that's the legacy, because then people won't forget you. People won't forget like, yo, I remember my first gig was with this, and I had a really good time. You know what I mean? Like I think that's really all about. That's where a legacy starts to kind of get built. You know what I mean?
Wow. So since you are on the Jae Grind podcast, have you heard Jae Grind's music?
Have I? Come on, I heard you before, bro. Come on, man.
So what is one of your favorite songs and why?
Let me see. What's that drink that you had did Oh, whoa. I remember, because now, hold on. Get the beat in my head. Had that dope beat. Oh, my gosh, bro. What's the name of that song? It was from the 2000... P-R-I... Principle. Yeah, you was like, yo, Principles, whatever. Yeah, that track was fire, son. I remember when you first let me hear that. And I don't think that's like one of your new joints. I think that's been out for a little bit, right? Like,
yeah, it's been out.
Yeah, I remember you
4
was
years.
like, yeah, you was like, yo, Dave. I was like, yo, you want to perform for the show or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I asked you to be an actor. You didn't have to perform. You know what I'm saying? So that, that's another thing where I like, like if people got other talents, why not utilize it for the show? And I remember you was like, yo, listen to this song. I was like, that's okay. Like, I don't feel like it's gonna, and you was like, oh, hear this one, Principle. I was like, oh, oh, like it had that old old hip hop. You know what I mean? Like it had like I'm walking through the streets kind of joint. Like you know what I mean? Like this, you know what I mean? Like yo, it's like a wire cage walking. Like I'm walking back. You know what I mean? Like I'm walking through the hood, whatever. It just made you feel hard. It made you feel like pause. It made you feel crazy, son. Like I don't know. It just made me feel like old Harlem, like old the Bronx, like where I was all the places I was raised at. So Principles, hands down, like yeah, I appreciate that song a lot, man. And I like that song you did with Shanae. I don't remember the name of it. I thought that was
Amazing. You're amazing.
amazing. Yeah, that was a nice song. That was a nice like switch to things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I wanted to say, where can the people find you? Where can the people find your work? Where can people connect with you? Things like that, in case they want to meet you and things like that.
I mean, honestly, I'm really heavy on Instagram. It's not my name. I don't put my name. I have no idea why. I should probably put my name, but it's Kung Fu Joe 83. Um, Kung Fu Joe 83. You know who Kung Fu Joe is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about
How
to
you gonna ask
say.
me on my podcast? Yo, play me on my podcast, man. Yo, yo.
Yeah. But you be shocked though. You be shocked. Mad people out there, you know what I mean? They don't know you don't know your history. You know what I'm saying? That's why I had to ask. I'm like, do he know who Kung Fu Joe is? Because that's my man, bro.
Yeah.
He had his little like 10 seconds of shine, but that man, yo, oh my gosh, bro. Yeah. All right, all right. My fault.
Yeah, let them know where to find you.
Yeah.
Instagram, tell them everything.
Instagram, man. I think just really Instagram at this point. Kung Fu Joe 83, Dave Givens. That's really it. Like, just hit me up there, or you can hit up Harlem's a Living Color. Harlem's a Living Color sketch comedy. And that's I think that's really the top two places. I mean, we're still building Real Roots, so there's not really much to see from there yet until the end of the summer. But yeah, I'll definitely keep you posted with that for sure.
Yo, you already know. Follow David on all platforms. Kung Fu Joe 83. Check him out on all platforms. Please be ready for some action, for some real work, y'all. You already know. Thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
on the show. You already know y'all Jae Grind for the BX. We out.
yeah, we out, bro. All right, appreciate it.